Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. I hope all of you are enthusiastically moving ahead in your reading of the Bhagavad Gita, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and requesting Krishna to again reinstate you as a servant, as his part and parcel.
8:30.
Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam vam vishame bhavam budau kripaya tavapada pankajastita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya is a prayer Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. O my Lord, Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram. I am, Tanu means body, Tanuja means coming from my body. Means Nanda Tanuja means coming from the body of Nanda Tanuja and Yashoda. He is son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram. I am your servant. Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Buddho. I fell down into this samsara sagara. Vishame, made out of Vishaya, material Vishaya. Sagara. Patitamam Vishame Bhava Ambudau. Ambu means ocean. Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja. Please have mercy on me. Place me as an atom at your lotus feet. Sthita Dhuli, like a small dust particle. Sadrisham Vichintaya. Please give me a position at your lotus feet. Pada Pankaja. Again, I am a foolish guy. I forgot you and I fell into this ocean, horrible suffering I'm going through for so many janmas. I don't even know I'm going through suffering. I've become so used to it. I'm so stupid. I don't even think this is suffering. I'm trying to make a living out of this. I'm trying to live here permanently. I'm trying to get related to everybody permanently, but unfortunately I die, they die, everything dies. It's so horrible. I'm getting ragged life after life. Now I have understood, because of you sending me the Gita and some lessons to me, I have understood. I am your lost son. Please put me back. What a wonderful prayer, huh? Is it not? Do you like that prayer? Yeah, very
Yes.
full of feeling. Yes. So we must pray like that. Krishna reciprocates to your prayer. Don't think it is just a ritualistic prayer. Feelingly, sincerely, if you pray, he notices it. He will reciprocate your prayer. He's sitting in your heart. Okay? And the best way to do this is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very sincerely, and hear this holy name. Cry to Krishna. Okay? Right. So today we are going to dive into the 8th chapter. It is an ocean of nectar. You may have dived into the material ocean, like I said, and fallen into it stupidly. But Krishna is giving you a chance to fall into another ocean, the Bhagavad Gita. Amrita, full of nectar. Bhakti, Rasa, Amrita, Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean also. Amrita, nectarian ocean, is Bhagavad Gita. So 8th chapter is another nectarian, wonderful ocean. So maybe we should chant it quickly to excite ourselves. If you've got the book in front of you, which by now you must have, otherwise I'll think you're not interested in learning the Bhagavad Gita, because so many days are over. The 8th chapter has come, which means we've finished more than 1/3 of the Bhagavad Gita. By now you should have secured a copy of the Bhagavad Gita as it is by Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Then I would really think you're very serious about learning Bhagavad Gita. And I know I'm not going to put an audit on it and check out, but I think you are all very serious devotees. So you must be having the Gita in front of you. Let's go for it. Let's chant the 8th chapter exactly like Krishna chanted it on the battlefield and Arjuna heard it. Jai Ho! Attaining the Supreme, chapter 8. Arjuna Vacha. Kim tat brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adi bhutam chakim proktam adi devam kim uchyate adi yajnah katam ko atra dehe asmin madhusudhana prayana kale chakatam nyeyo asi niyatatmabhi. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavod Bharakaro Visargah Karma Samajnitah Adi Bhutam Ksharo Bhavah Purushaschadi Daivatam Adi Yagyam Maham Evatra Dehe Deha Bhritam Vara Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram Yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshayah yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यजति ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayyarpita mano buddhir Mame vaishyasi asamshayah abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasana anyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan kavin puranam manushasitaram anoraniyam sam anusmaredyah sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam aditya varnam tamasah parastat Prayanagale manasachalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranama vesha samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam yadaksharam veda vido vedanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragah yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshaye सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्यच्च मूर्धनि आधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणम् ओम इति एकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम् अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः आब्रह्म भुवनालोकाः पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तं महर्यद् ब्राह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्तां ते अहोरात्रविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तः सर्वाः प्रभवन्ति अहरागमे रात्रि आगमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसमज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्रि आगमे अवशः पार्थ प्रभवति अहरागमे परस्तस्मात् भावो अन्यो अव्यक्तो अव्यक्तात् सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु नाभिनश्यति अव्यक्तो अक्षर इति युक्तस्तम्माहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य नानिवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्तु अनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वम् इदं ततं यत्र काले तु अनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभा अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्लः Sanmasa uttarayanam tatra prayatha gachanti brahma brahma vidho janah dhumo ratri stata krishna sanmasa dakshinayanam tatra chandramasam jyotiri yogi prapya nivartate shukla krishna gati jyete jagatah shashvate mate ekaya yati anavrittim anyaya vartate punah naite stri partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvam viditva yat pra yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Om Tat Sat. Such wonderful instructions. Right. So, I know you understood everything from the shlokas. I don't have to speak much. You are all Sanskrit Pandits and you know everything, but still I'm going to exhibit my ignorance to all of you because I got a chance to speak the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm going to take up that opportunity, even though you know better than me. Om Tat Sat. So here is the 8th chapter. It's called Attaining the Supreme. And this is a quick review of what we did in the 7th chapter. Krishna described his material and spiritual energies initially. And then he described Maya, how the dog example of the behind the gate, the dog example, and how Krishna recognizes, and then four people who surrender, and 4 people who don't surrender to Krishna. And then Krishna goes and speaks something more about the opposite of absolute truth. This chapter is called Knowledge of the Absolute, 7th chapter. And then he speaks about what is not absolute in this world. He speaks about demigod worship. He speaks about impersonalism, both of which are very relative in terms of understanding the Supreme Person. And then he explains Bhagavan as a maintainer, destroyer, all-pervasive source of everything. Then he goes ahead to explain his pure devotee. Out of the 4 people who surrender and 4 who don't surrender, he speaks about the Jnani and speaks about his pure devotee. And this way the chapter ends with this shloka, Sadi bhutadi daivam mam, Sadi yagyam chaye viduhu, prayana kale apichamam te vidur yukta chetasah. Those in full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. The 7th chapter ended like this. It spoke about Adi Bhutadi Daivam. It spoke about Adi Yagyam, and then Prayana Kale Pichamam. So in the 8th chapter, the beginning shloka, Arjuna immediately catches on to the last shloka and said, Kim tad brahma kim madhyatmam kim karma purushottama adi bhutam cha kim proktam adi devam kim uchyate. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is karma? Adi bhutam, adi devam, adi yagyam. How to know you at the time of death. Right? All these are questions in 1 and 2 shloka. And then from 3rd shloka, Bhagavan starts replying it, Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavo Bhavakaro Visargas Karma Samagnitah. Very simple answers Krishna gives, but they are very profound. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman. Note this, I'm reading text 3. The Jiva, the spirit soul, is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. The spiritual nature is the self. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma. You perform some activities, fruitive activities, and then because of that you get some punya and papa. For that you have to take another body and suffer the punya and suffer the papa and enjoy the punya. Actually both are same in one sense. We suffer both. But anyway, if you have fruitive activities in the bank balance, you have to take a body, and that action by which you get other body is called karma, right? And then Krishna goes further to say in the fourth shloka, O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adi Bhuta, the material manifestation. And the universal form of the Lord, which we will read in 11th chapter, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adi Deva. And I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adi Yajna, the Lord of Sacrifice. In this way, he finishes the simple questions, which Arjuna already knows. He has gone to Gurukula, he has studied under great rishis and sages. But I think he's asking this question for all of us dumb guys who got stuck on this world. But then Krishna goes to ask him how to know you at the time of death. Krishna explains the art of leaving the body, right? When you die, what happens to you? That is explained by Krishna here in the fifth shloka. Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Kalevaram means his body. A very derogatory way of saying this kalevara, this painted stuff that you have. Antakale means at the end of life. Mam eva smaran, if you think of me only. Eva means only. Mam eva smaran, muktva kalevaram, you become free from this kalevara, this body. Yaprayati samad bhavam, in thinking of me means being, madbhava means in my same spiritual atmosphere, that is Krishna consciousness. Yati nasti atra samshayah, there is no doubt you will come to me. If at the time of death you're able to think of me. Why? Because there is a formula for this. What is that? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. Why? Whatever state, okay, somebody can read this. I'm going fast. Please go ahead. Who can read it? Who likes to read it? Dheeraj, you're the youngest.
Yes,
please open the account today.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yes. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Great, thank you. Remember this. Why you should think of Krishna? Krishna is saying, because you'll attain that state. If you think of Krishna, you become Krishna conscious. But if you think of your daughter, if you think of your son, if you think of your puppy, if you think of your billy, your cat, and if you think of the ice cream in the fridge, or if you think of the mango hanging above, you will actually become a worm in the mango. Or you'll become a dog if you think of your dog. You'll become a billy cat if you think of your cat. Remember, this is a law. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Tyajati ante kalevaram. Tyajati means to give it up. In the end, ante, kalevaram means his body. Tam tam evaiti kaunteya. Definitely that same consciousness you will get in your next body. See how critical it is that we are properly understanding how to die, or the art of leaving the body. If you don't study it throughout your life, you will be thinking of some stupid thing and you'll be born again like that. What a grave danger it is. You can lose the human form of life if you don't do things properly. This is a law. Because don't think that you can take this lightly. Here is the story of Bharata Maharaj, given in the Bhagavatam. Our country is named Bharata after him. But nobody talks about the story about Bharat. The whole country is named Bharata. Bharat means this person who was a powerful son of Rishabhadeva. He is known to have been so powerful he could fight hand to hand with a tiger in the forest and kill it. He was so powerful. And he gave up everything. His family, his treasury, his kingdom, his kingship, his relatives, his friends. Jyotjustadandara sutan hridrajyam hridispishaha juho yuvaiva malavat uttama shloka lalasa. Bhagavatam beautifully describes juho yuvaiva malavat. Mala means stool. Just like you pass stool and nobody thinks something valuable I have left behind me, I should go back and get it. You don't care. This is wastage. Just like you pass stool and walk away. Just like that, he gave up his wife, children, family, kingdom, treasury, wealth, army, position, everything, and just walked off to the forest. Because Uttama Shloka Lalasa. Lalasa means a great hankering to indulge in Krishna consciousness. And what happened to him in the forest? Maya came in a completely different form. Oh, you think you're a great renunciant? You gave up your family, your friends, your wife, your children? Here I am. Came in the form of a small deer, a cute little deer, which was delivered as the deer jumped across the stream into the waters, into the swirling waters. And then he came down running from his ashram and saved that deer, the cute little deer, looking so pretty, so nice. And he saved it and he thought, I have saved you. And then he said, wait here, I'll bring you that, I'll bring you this. And slowly, the deer crept into his life. He did not know the higher power and force of Krishna's material energy was acting on him, testing him. Do you have so much love for Krishna? And then slowly it got into his life. And he became so attached to the deer, he stopped his Krishna conscious practices. He stopped his worship of the Shalagram. He stopped many things, and he was simply kissing the deer, hugging the deer, feeding it milk, giving it tender shoots and that and this, and was totally lost. He was holding the deer on his chest when he died, thinking of the deer. In his next life, he became a deer. Although he was so exalted a person, you can see the outline of him, old man. He died. Here around my cursor. And then he became a deer. Because he was so absorbed in that deer, he got cheated by material nature. So remember, Krishna is giving a warning here. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Tam evaiti kaunteya. That's definitely consciousness you will get. So if you want to keep Krishna consciousness when you die, you must start practicing it now. It's so easy. If you can remember Krishna at the time of death, Krishna is saying, I'll take you back. Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. This is a guarantee given by Krishna. So why can't we learn how to do it? And then fantastic things will happen to us. No more misery, no more this dirty, stinky, stenchy body. No more harassment by material nature. Free soul in your spiritual realm you'll be. Simply you have to learn, train your mind how to think of Krishna. And the best way to do that is to constantly chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay? This is something you should know. Very important for you to know. Okay? Therefore, Krishna is saying the 7th sloka, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yudhyacha Mayarpita Manoho Buddhir Mameva Ishyasi Asamshayah. See, Asamshayah. Don't doubt me. If you constantly think of me, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Kala means time. Sarveshu means all the time. Sarveshu Kaleshu means all the time. What should you do? Mam Anusmara. Smaran. Whom should you think of? Not about the next door girl. Not about that wonderful Avengers personality, the Hulk or Romanov or whoever it is. I forget. Thor and all of them. Great guys. If you think and go to sleep and you die in the sleep, wow. I don't know where you'll go. I'm sure Thor and all these guys are from nether regions underneath, from hellish places. The way they look and the way they do things. I hope not. But then that's what will happen to you. So, Ma Manusmara, think of me, Yudhyacha, and fight. It's a very important shloka to know. See Krishna telling, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. Yudham means to fight the war. And that is the profession of Arjuna. He's a soldier. Right? He fights. He's a Kshatriya. So Krishna is saying, think of me and fight. Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. You may be thinking, I've been trying that, it's not happening. I'm trying to think of Krishna and cooking, but that guy rings the bell, I go and attend to that, and then my husband phones me, and then my daughter says I'm lost somewhere, and then my son tells me I want this thing, mama, and then I go there, and I guess forget Krishna, yaar. Very difficult to remember Krishna in my household activities. It's a challenge. But here is Krishna is saying, Ma manusmara yudhyacha. Mayarpita mano buddhi arpana. Give your buddhi and mind to me. Sacrifice them to me. Mamevaishyasi asamshaya. Definitely you will come to me without a doubt if you do this. Look at this. Huh? So read this shloka. Ambili, I caught you. Where have you been all these days, Ambili? Please read this shloka on the screen. Ambili, we have never heard you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please go ahead, Ambili. Read that translation on the screen for 8.7.
Translation. Okay. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ambili.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhu.
you see that? You will attain me without doubt if you do this. So this is what we need to practice. Whatever you're doing, it may be bad, it may be good, it may be a karma, it may be this thing, you may be in the hospital, you may be happy, and you may be this thing. Try to bring Krishna into your consciousness. This is the challenge. Mamarusmara Yuddhacha. Bhakti Yoga means you don't have to stand on your head in the Himalayas. You don't have to do all that. But the simple things are, if you want to think of Krishna, you should fill your mind with Krishna. You should hear about Krishna. You should read Bhagavad Gita daily. You should associate with people who are speaking this to you daily. And you keep Krishna in your mind. Slowly you will fall in love with Krishna. Slowly you will fall in love with Krishna, and you don't have to strain too much to bring Krishna into your mind. Krishna will automatically be there. He will just occupy your mind because he is the most attractive personality in the entire creation. It is easy to fall in love with Krishna. His activities are so wonderful. Krishna is saying, therefore always keep me in your thoughts. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. You see, we talk about thoughts, we talk about managing our mental situation. This is the easy way to manage it. Bring Krishna inside, it will automatically be controlled. You just have to bring Krishna. Nothing else that you bring inside will ever be able to control your mind as much as Krishna. If you chant Hare Krishna, if you hear it and bring Krishna into your mind, means hear Krishna's katha, Krishna katha, and read the Bhagavat, read the Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna, and discuss Krishna with somebody else. I read this pastime today. It was wonderful. Krishna lifts the Govardhana hill. Amazing things happened. I thought it was just an ordinary thing. So many things happened described in the Bhagavat there. Wow. I could take a movie on this. It's so wonderful. The other day we were discussing Shamantaka Mani, the jewel, which Krishna was blamed as having taken and stolen in Dwaraka by Shatrajit, and how he went and got the jewel back from Jambavan's kid. And there was a fight between him and Jambavan that lasted 28 days until Jambavan found out, oh my gosh, this is the same Ramachandra, my lord. And then he recognized immediately and gave his daughter Jambavati in marriage to Krishna. And he gave the Shamantaka Mani also. So he brought it back and gave Shatrajit and said, don't unnecessarily blame me. This is what it is, the story behind it. This way that. And Shatrajit became very sad. He said, I'll give you in marriage my daughter. And he gave Satyabhama. This is how Krishna got Satyabhama. And he married Satyabhama also. And then he said, take the Shamantaka Mani also. He said, no, I don't want that. You keep it. You are very attached to it. You keep it. I care two hoots for that. Satyabhama is my devotee. Definitely I'll marry her. Because she is Lakshmi. He married her. And this way, Krishna, wonderful pastimes of Krishna, if you hear, you will become absorbed in Krishna. You will definitely fall in love with Krishna. This is how Rukmini fell in love with Krishna. She was just a young girl. She was wearing this pavadayan blouse, very small young girl. And she was keeping on hearing from people who were going and traveling up and down, tourists. And they were saying, Dwaraka, Krishna is the most important thing there. I saw Krishna peep through the curtain. He's so great. He's that. He's this. He's handsome when he smiles. He's like this. Beautiful. He's that. He's this. Everybody, she kept hearing, everybody is praising Krishna. And she thought, he will be my husband. Nobody else I'm going to marry. She hasn't even seen Krishna. But yet such, love and affection for Krishna. Rukmini kept hearing about Krishna and fell in love with Krishna. She had never seen him. Simply by hearing, she fell in love with Krishna. It'll happen to you also. If you keep hearing, read Krishna book. Prabhupada has written that book very beautifully. 90 chapters of simply Krishna stories. And then he released it and he said that it's simply for you to enjoy Krishna Katha.
It's 9 o'clock.
He said, simply for you to enjoy Krishna Katha. Read a story every day before you go to sleep. And then many houses, I know even today, in my house, I remember that when I was working and I heard this and I would make everybody read in the night and everybody were lying down and sleeping and we would read a story. And it will be exciting and we'll just go to sleep like that, hearing the story. Right? And you get dreams of Krishna. Ooh, you are involved somewhere. And in this way, you're bringing Krishna into your consciousness. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. Remember me. And the Prabhupada has done wonderful things, written these amazing books. You can read them and you can remember Krishna. Right? So, this is a secret. This is a secret. Bring Krishna into your consciousness. And you will see what a big change will happen in your life. I am going to read or ask you to read the purport of that particular shloka alone and the translation which you've already read. The purport, you see that? Devaki, Sumukhi, can you read the purport to text 7?
Yes, Maharaj. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet Krishna Loka without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Asamshaya hai. Mamaevaishyasi asamshaya hai. Mind is always going to say, oh, how is it possible? Who knows where Krishna's planet is? I didn't see it on WhatsApp or I didn't see it in YouTube. How do I know where it is, boy? Who's going to believe this, what Krishna is saying? Ha, ha, ha. Your mind is going to say all these things to you. Definitely. In the back, in the front, you'll be smiling and saying, yeah, very, very nice. When you go to sleep, it will tell you, who cares about that? I'm not going to believe that. Of course, I believe with Elon Musk and the fact that he has taken over Twitter and very soon he's going to buy Sri Lanka also, it seems. He bought Twitter for 44 billion and then Sri Lanka is just asking 5 billion for world, IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and they're not giving. So somebody said, Elon, why don't you buy Sri Lanka? So although he may have great wealth and he can have great advantages, and he may say, I will take you to the Mars planet, etc. Here is Krishna saying, you will come to me without a doubt into the spiritual world. It doesn't have to be Elon Musk to be able to say it. It's Krishna who is saying it. Elon Musk cannot even go out of this planet. It's not so easy for him to go to this thing. Krishna is saying, beyond these material planets, I'll take you to my spiritual world, which is very, very, very far off, actually. Very far off. Here I'll show you a little video, maybe, quickly. Let me see if I can get it for you. Can you see that? How is that? Now you know where you are, who are you, how big are you? And whatever you saw now is only a very small portion of the material creation. You can understand how small you are. Okay? Krishna is calling you to some place much, 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 much beyond all this. Elon Musk has not even crossed a very small portion of it. A very small thing. He may achieve it, but still it's nothing great compared to the distance in the material world. And compared to where Krishna is calling you, Yatina asti atra samshaya, there is no doubt you will come to me. And we have heard from Krishna and the scriptures that the spiritual manifestation in planets are 3 times or even more than the material manifestation. All right? So you will ask me, therefore, since Krishna is saying, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha, Arjuna has asked the question, how shall I meditate on you? So here in the 9th shloka, Krishna is saying, Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anor Aniyam Anusmaredyah Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasat Parastat. And the shloka before that, the translation goes, he who meditates on me is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. And then you may ask, so how shall I meditate on you? Here it is. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Kavi means the one who knows everything, very learned person. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun and is transcendental beyond this material nature. Krishna is describing himself in a very academic way. You know, you ask a question of God, he says, how to meditate on you? You must meditate on me like this. Kavim Purana Manisha Sitara Manoraniyan Anusmaredya Sarvasya Dhatara Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam. Smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. In Achintya Rupam, I have an inconceivable form. With your puny material mind, you cannot conceive of me. I'm Kavim, oldest of the oldest and most knowledgeable person. Anusha Sitaram, everything is under my ruling. Everything. In this way, you can meditate on me. He's teaching you how to meditate on the absolute truth, the reality. If you meditate on me like this, then you can fix yourself. I don't have to be told how to meditate on the latest film actress and the latest cricket star or this thing. We just go and meditate. I like him. Take his big picture, put it on my screensaver, put it on my phone. I want to see him all the time. I want to see her all the time. And then you keep meditating, and then over a period of time, you get absorbed in it. So much you get absorbed that you start shaping your hairstyle like that. And you start going to the boutique and looking like that. You know, there was this, what is that? What is that president of India, that Muslim Nobel Prize and all that? What's his name?
Abdul Kalam.
I'm sorry. Abdul Kalam, very respectable, wonderful scientist and president of India and all that. You know, he had a hairstyle like this, separating, very special hairstyle. It will be falling on his hair like that. And he had a unique hairstyle. And there were people who were his followers. And many of them were putting the same hairstyle. It's called the Abdul Kalam hairstyle. You can go to any of the saloons, they'll put that hairstyle for you. It's part in the center. And many guys were wearing it. There was Vice Chancellor here of Anna University, Bharadiyar University. I used to go and see him. He was head of the department here for management. His hair was just like Abdul Kalam. He's a great fan of Abdul Kalam. He just imitate you. If you keep thinking of great feeling about Abdul Kalam. And I know about, you know the Beatles group, some of you may remember, the first pop group in London, UK. And Prabhupada connected with George Harrison and he became very good close friends with George Harrison. There's a big history of that. And there was John Lennon. He was like a guy with round glasses and a little Chinese looking and straight hair. There's a fan of John Lennon. They loved John Lennon a lot. So he went and made himself up look like John Lennon so much that every day he'll go and give another touch-up, another hair thing, change the spectacles. This is so absorbed. It seems he looked exactly like John Lennon. He made himself up so good that one day he went to John Lennon and challenged that I am the real John Lennon, not you, and tried to shoot him. Can you believe this? He gets so absorbed. And in Krishna, in Bhagavatam, you can read that Paundraka was like that. You've heard the story of Paundraka? Paundraka loved Krishna's form. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma and his Sudarshana and his hair and his looks. And obviously everybody will fall in love with Krishna and his looks. He liked it so much that he stuck two artificial hands like this and they held a Shankha Chakra. And then he went to Krishna. He put his kiridam and all that looking at, and he went there and challenged him. I am the real Vasudeva. I dare you to prove that you are Vasudeva. So it seems Krishna came out and started laughing like nothing. He was laughing watching that. Paundraka has put two hands stuck to his shoulders like this. It's a story in the Krishna, in the Bhagavad. You will see it in the Krishna book. And then he laughed, and he said, yes, let us see who is the real Vasudeva. And then he let go of his Sudarshan Chakra. It cut, Paundraka's neck. But amazingly, he said, you like my form so much, I'll give you a place in Vaikuntha with exactly the same form as me. And he was liberated. He got Sarupya Mukti. Same Rupa as Lord. Because he had fallen in love with the Rupa of the Lord. And he loved to see Vasudeva so much like that, that he even became one. So he said, I'll give you that form because you've been purified by meditating on my form so much. So I'll give you residence in the Vaikuntha planet. You look exactly like me. Because there, everybody has got four-handed forms in the spiritual world. So he became, Paundraka became, four-handed Vishnu type of person. Right? So you tend to actually absorb yourself in the form of the Lord. And if you meditate, Achintya Rupam, Krishna is giving, it's difficult for you to think about it, but if you can, and if you get attached to the form, then you'll get the absolute destination. Right? So we will end here with the 9th shloka today. And Krishna has taught us how to meditate on him, why you should meditate on him at the time of death. Otherwise, what will happen to you if you meditate on anything else? And before that was Arjuna's inquiry, Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma Purushottama, Adi Devam, Adi Bhutam, everything. And he answered all that. And then, what should I do at the time of death? How to remember you was Arjuna's question. He gave this answer, Yam Yam Vyapi Smaran Bhavam, just think of me. So the safest thing is to think of Krishna. And don't think that I can do it at the time of death, I don't have to worry. You will see that death catches upon you unexpected. You will never be told, like income tax notice comes to you, so and so, this thing, we are coming for you. Right? No. It happens all of a sudden. You never know when you'll go. So it's better to actually be ready by constantly practicing, remembering Krishna, by chanting Krishna's holy names, reading Bhagavad Gita, and associating with devotees and discussing these topics. Om Tat Sat.